to just welcome you to the first of hopefully many lives that we're going to be doing here at the Brammer Firm. Uh, Tonight, we're going to be doing a specific topic on Florida updates, a couple of updates on the Florida laws, which are tangential to the practice area that we're focused on, small businesses. There's a lot of updates that are affecting the small businesses and how they operate in the state of Florida. So I wanted to pop in and just kind of share those updates as well as uh, give you updates for different topics, right? And give you an opportunity to ask questions if you so feel as if you need to ask some questions, as well as potentially even bring on some special guests that might share their expertise and insights as well. So you're gonna get to see this face very often, and hopefully this will be a good, great start of a wonderful thing. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. I want to welcome everyone into the new year. I hope you're ready and energized to take on the challenges of the new year. I know I am, and I look forward to working with everyone who are ready to do the same. Or if you're not, let's sit down and talk. Why? Why? What's going on? Let's find out why you're not ready to move ahead. And I'm actually going to be touching on a subject regarding that as well. Now, tonight, as you can tell from the topic I have here is Florida updates. So we're going to be talking about the updates in the state of Florida, specifically those updates affecting small businesses. And we'll just proceed with the very first update, which was Senate Bill 566 concerning motor vehicle rentals. Now, there's a industry that you may or may not be aware of, which kind of popped up, and it's been doing well. I know a bunch of friends who do it, and they've essentially created many rental car companies by doing what they call car sharing. That one popular platform I can think of is Turo, where you can rent your vehicle for a certain price, and you could have other people access it and make a business out of it. Well, the state of Florida has recognized that this is a burgeoning industry, and they've essentially decided that they are going to start to regulate it, right? So with that regulation comes the need for you to go ahead and collect taxes. So one of the biggest concerns is we have Avis, we have Enterprise, and we have all of these larger corporations who are in the rental industry. They're collecting sales taxes. Then we ought to make sure that the private enterprises are doing the same. With regard to this change in the law as well, Senate Bill 566, it also requires that if you own a car that is subject to a recall, you need to make sure that you're sharing that information with your prospective clients. So if there's, I know a lot of Teslas were on recall, some of the Mercedes were on recall, some of the VWs as well. If you have any of these vehicles on any of these platforms, which are essentially available for rent, you need to make sure that you're sharing that recall information to the clients that you're doing as well. You need to have adequate insurance, and your client as well needs to have adequate insurance. And if you're not properly protected, let's make sure we have a discussion with regard to that. Our firm handles all of that for you. All right. The next update is Senate Bill 252 with regard to child care facilities. Child care facilities now have the responsibility to ensure that their children are, the children that are in their care, I should say, are properly protected from the heat or the sunstroke. So if we have a driver who is leaving the vehicle, they want to be aware that there's still maybe a child still in the vehicle. So as a result, they're imposing on all of these facilities who have vehicles to put some form of a car alarm that would alert the or make sure that the driver is aware that they check the vehicle to ensure that there's a child not left in the vehicle. Very good bill, very popular bill. I think it was sponsored by a senator in Orlando, and that is it might impose a little bit of cost on you, but it certainly is going to help to move the industry forward. House Bill 121 concerning notary publics. That House bill actually is affecting not only the notary public industry. I know that a lot of not a lot of people are doing notary publics as a side business, and it has been a proliferation of this business that has been propping up, which is awesome. We have notaries that work with our firms, and they with our firm, and they go out and do help us with closings. What is significant about this is now you can do what is called RON, RON, remote online notary service. The remote online notary service, this requires that you have an internet connection and the ability to share the documents while you're at the closing. And it doesn't require presence, like physical presence of that person at the table, right? So with the remote online notary service, it might require video interface that would essentially make sure that you're identifying who that person is. Now, while this is awesome, and it came about as a result of the pandemic, actually it was in the works prior to the pandemic, because I remember that was affecting even our it was coming and affecting our closing practice. But while that is well and good, and it is definitely an innovation and a welcomed one, I'm certain that if you own property in Florida and you live in New York, or if you're purchasing property from New York in Florida, it would be awesome that you could actually conduct that closing remotely. However, all parties need to be on the same page, meaning all parties need to be signing off on the fact that this is going to be a remote online notary service. Now, not all agents are remote notary agents are ready for becoming a RON, because you actually have to become certified for it, as well as you need to post a $25,000 bond, and I believe you have to have the adequate insurance to cover that as well. In addition to that, if the bank isn't prepared to close, primarily because they haven't recognized RON, or remote online services, notary services, as yet, the deal is off, right? Not the deal is off, but you're not going to be able to close remotely. So it's important for you to be able to be aware of whether or not all parties, the title company, the insurance company, the title insurance company, the closing company, the real estate companies, the parties, as well as, most importantly, the bank. Because if the bank isn't, if there isn't a bank involved, then that's a totally different situation. But if there's a bank involved and they're not ready and willing to accept remote online notary services, then that the deal is practically off, right? So you have to do that physically. I'm actually pretty excited about that, because it makes our business more accessible, and accessibility and technology is big these days. This is the reason why I'm beaming to your computer or your phone right now. And it's important for us to be able to conduct business remotely, but do it safely, securely, and protect all parties involved, right? But we want to make sure that I think maybe 36 states are already on with RON, and I'm glad that Florida has caught up with that. However, all banks haven't, right? So let's not let's not walk into a situation and demand that service. We have to make sure that the bank is ready for that as well. All right. And last but not least, workers' compensation rates have been reduced here in South Florida, here in Florida, essentially. Florida has reduced it by about 4.9%. And I think it was primarily due to the efficiency that has been occurring over the state of Florida through technology. So This was a statement that was sent out by the Mr. David Altmaier, right? He's a commissioner for that department of the insurance. And he says the 4.9% reduction in workers' compensation rates lowers insurance costs for employers in 2022. And it says essentially safer workplaces, innovative techniques, and improved risk management practices have resulted in the continued decline in workers' compensation claims, ultimately benefiting Florida businesses. So there's another reason why you should be conducting business in Florida. Uh, our workers' compensation rates have been lowered by the commissioner, right? And that's primarily because, again, innovation, a lot of efficiency has been realized from all of the work that has been done at the various businesses. Now, kudos to pretty much everyone involved in a business. Our practice area here at the Brammer firm actually focuses on small businesses. And I mean, focus on it in a big way. We have essentially been piloting a program that support small businesses and everything small business by ensuring that you have adequate coverage for your business, adequate legal coverage for your business, right? And so we make sure that we sit with all of our small business owners and find out whether or not what areas that they need to take care of, what areas that they need to improve of, make sure that their contracts are okay, make sure that they're in compliance in their specific industry, make sure that they're in compliance with the state, make sure that there's so many different facets that have not a lot of small business owners have not been considering, right? And as a result of that, we've designed a program that would essentially have give you access to our services at a fraction of the cost of what you would actually pay for a legal counsel, right, or corporate counsel that would essentially be working with your firm. Now, a corporate counsel, depending on the size of an organization, can obviously cost you, into the six, maybe even seven figures if you're thinking about an essentially a legal department for your corporation. However, we're talking about you being able to afford an attorney for a fraction of the cost. And I'm not even going to share with you what that cost is because we want to make sure that we control the demand, right? And ensure that you get quality legal services. We want to do it in an ethical way and not essentially flood the gates, so to speak, right? But I will go ahead and share with you in the link. I'm going to go ahead and share that in the link right now, in the comments, I should say, our services that is being offered through what we call Esquire on Demand. So you demand pretty much the amount of services that you need to cover your business. And we provide that service for you at a fraction of the cost. All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful year. I hope this information that we've shared with you is going to be useful for you and your small business. You can expect for us to pop in periodically over the period of the next year. We're starting this whole Facebook Live and maybe even Instagram Live and YouTube Live and maybe even Twitter, and just kind of reach out to the community and let them be aware of the changes that might be affecting their industry. We're going to be talking about subject matters that are salient to you. We're going to be talking a lot about estate planning. We're going to be talking about a lot about small businesses. And we're going to be talking about a lot about real estate. I think those three areas are going to be hot topics. I know I do want to talk about a specific real estate topic affecting realtors right now in the state of Florida, and it would effectively spill over into the industry. So we're going to be sharing that information all over social media so that you can be apprised to what is going on in your specific industry. All right. Thank you for your time. I did say I won't take up too much of your time, but I appreciate you listening in, and I hope this was useful to you and look forward to talking to you again. Have a great night.